Hi, my name is Simpiwe Petros, and I'm the co-founder of the SBK Leadership Academy, and I'm also a UP alumni. Studied industrial and systems engineering in what was some of the greatest years of my life, where I got to learn a lot about myself. Over the past few videos, we've discussed and unpacked responsibility in detail. We've given you stories and scenarios of situations which you can relate to and how you can practically implement responsibility in your life. And the one thing that I want you to realize above everything else is that responsibility doesn't have to be something that you practice one day when you're older. It's something that you can utilize now and practice today. If you want to be a great leader someday, you've got to get into the habits of great leaders. Now, responsibility is one of the greatest character traits of those greats. And if we want to become the best versions of ourselves, we've got to embrace the reality of responsibility. So in this video, we're going to discuss how you can be more responsible in different areas of your life. For example, how can you be more responsible toward yourself and others? Firstly, cleaning up after yourself is one of the most practical ways we can show responsibility at home. Now, knowing myself, I'm not the cleanest person around. I tend to be very messy. And taking responsibility for my mess is something that I've had to do for not just myself, but for the sake of my wife. I've got to put myself in her shoes to make myself realize that if she has to clean up after my mess, what message am I sending to her? Do I care about her, or is she just a slave, you know? So it's got to be personal for you. You've got to realize this for yourself. Now, at home for you, if your mom is cleaning up after you, making your bed, washing your laundry, washing your dishes, cleaning up your mess after you make food, do you really love and care for those? Are you actually, more importantly, are you taking responsibility for those that you love? It's simple. Cleaning up after yourself just expresses how much you care about other people. Now, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy, and I want to communicate that to you, because if you don't understand that, you'll never be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. If you sympathize with people, you feel sorry for them, but there's no action in that. When you empathize with people, you put yourself in their shoes. So if you put yourself in the shoes of the person that's cleaning up after you, you'll be able to take responsibility, because it's going to hit you at the core. Sticking with loved ones, I want to give you another area that you can focus on, and that's placing others' needs ahead of your needs. Now, I know that it sounds like a selfless act where you have to sacrifice yourself, but it's not about that. It's about focusing on your loved ones specifically, and understanding that sometimes in certain situations in life, their needs are more of a priority and more urgent above yours. So let's give you a practical example. Let's say you come home after school and you're starving, you're hungry, you come from sports practice, and all you want to do is make a sandwich for yourself. But what you realize is that your little brother or sister just bumped their knee or whatever, and they're bleeding. What are you going to do in that situation? You've got to place their need for your assistance above your need for hunger, and food rather. So it's important to realize, in taking responsibility for ourselves and our loved ones, that sometimes their needs are greater than yours. The third area that I want to focus on, which is absolutely critical, is something that I've had to constantly remind myself of this year, is being consistent. Now, your responsibility won't mean much if it's on and off consistently, right? On a good day, you'll be responsible. On a bad day, you'll just be lounging around, making a mess, not caring about anybody. That means nothing. Your responsibility only carries weight when you are consistent in your effort towards that responsibility. Now, we remember when we defined responsibility, and I told you that some certain areas of responsibility require you to do what you're supposed to do, right? It's important to remember that doing what you're supposed to do without expecting any praise from people requires consistency. And your consistency will develop your character, which is critical. In every area of your life where you want to achieve something great, consistency is a core ingredient to achieving that great achievement. If you want to be a a lot fitter, for example. Let's say you want to run a kilometer in under 4 or 5 minutes, which is a phenomenal achievement. Running 5 kilometers once a week won't help you. Rather try running a kilometer every single day for 5 days. Remember, your goal is running a kilometer in under 4 or 5 minutes, right? Or between 4 and 5 minutes. So it's important to understand how you can consistently apply yourself in achieving that goal. Now, there's a lot of areas that we can talk about in your life, but I specifically focused on these 3 because they personally resonate with me. But the biggest thing that I want you to realize about responsibility is the fact that you're going to have to take intentional steps of learning and understanding how you can be more responsible in your life. It's important for you to do some self-introspection and be self-aware of where you are currently at in your life. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's in the mistakes where you learn a lot about yourself. None of us are perfect, but the fact that you're willing to learn and take those steps is amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've learned a lot. My name is Simpiwe Petros. Take care and goodbye.